welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude, a special episode. We somehow tricked somebody that's actually has a career in music to come on the show, and I'd really like to welcome Zach Throne to the show here on Surf Dudes with Attitude. Thanks for coming on. Thank
Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
George, do you want to tell George? We got a message from George the other week, and can you explain how this happened, George?
I just messaged on Instagram, and I couldn't believe that you replied back because people from California Dreams won't even talk to me on Instagram.
They
But,
won't. But
yeah,
this took months, right? Like, maybe it's got lost in the ether of somebody's inbox or something like that. And I think we all forgot that we had reached out to everybody we possibly could from California Dreams that first season. So.
Are you sure? And no one got back? How long did it take me to get back to you?
Oh,
Yeah,
instantly.
Okay,
Instantly.
good.
Oh, that's right. I think it was George that actually was like, "Oh my God, I forgot to even check this message." But we really appreciate you being so punctual.
Oh man, my pleasure, man.
Some of the people from California Dreams got back to us. Some of them are playing they're playing hard to get, and that's fine.
J. Anthony Frankie talked to us, and he was incredible. So
That's awesome. Cool.
We had a day player on from the first season who was like Jenny's shitty boyfriend, and he was cool. He's been like a steady working actor for a while, but like, can you this is about California Dreams, sure, but we are actually, James and I are like working musicians, so we're definitely going to talk about a lot of stuff. I tour all the time, so like I would want to talk about. Can you weave us the crazy thread of how you are connected to this show?
I can try. I let's see. It goes back to 1992. I was acting and performing in a television series called The Heights. It was an Aaron Spelling TV show for Fox, and we were part of the Fox lineup of 92. And in the show, there was a lot of music. They hired actors who had musical ability to do the show, and we had a #1 single. So we were. It was called "How Do You Talk to an Angel," and it just became this kind of, the show didn't do very well, but the single went to #1. So it was this, it was a weird situation because we all were really trying to get the show to stay on the air after one season. And the song was, the only reason why we're staying on the air is the song was so big that no one wanted to cancel a show with a hit single. Yeah. Maybe it could carry us over into a second. Yeah.
It's the opposite of California Dreams.
It was exactly the opposite of California Dreams. But the coincidence of it was some of the same people doing the music part of The Heights wound up working on California Dreams. So the music supervisor for The Heights was a guy named Steve Tyrell, who did a lot of music supervision for movies and television back then. And after The Heights went off the air, he hired me to do a lot of session work, just session vocals and guitar and bass and what have you, whatever we needed. So if he was doing a record, I'd come in and stack harmonies. And if he was doing like a movie, we did like Father of the Bride and a couple other films that he was working on. He would just have me come in and just do some background vocals or some guitars or some basses or whatever. So him and I got to be in a really good working relationship, and we made a bunch of records and did a couple of things like that. And then this show came up. It was by the makers of Saved by the Bell. And he said, they're adding a new character this season. And they don't have a singing voice for him. At that time he didn't sing. And so we pitched you to the producers, and they heard your voice, and they said, well, it's got to be perfect to be the singing voice for Aaron Jackson. So I said, yeah, let's do it. And the singing voice for Jay was a guy named Barry Coughing, who wrote How Do You Talk to an Angel? And Barry got the job to do all the music for the show, most of the music for California Dreams. And him and I worked so well together on The Heights that it was just like we could work quick. Yeah, it just totally made sense. We could go in there and just have an engineer and Steve, and we could bust out all the tracks and the vocals as quick as possible and play all the instruments and things. So that's what we did.
Wow.
That's how I got the job.
How did you get started in music and acting? What led you to that?
Well, music, I don't think I had a choice, just because I've been playing music since I was a little kid. And that was what I knew. I was like one of those I wasn't one of those kids that was like, well, what am I going to be when I grow up? Maybe I'll be a fireman. You know, like I was
It
all
was in
about
your
music.
bones.
What do you have
It was
against
in my
firemen?
bones. Well, listen, dude, they don't get as many chicks. No, I'm just kidding.
That is true.
Actually,
He does
they
have
get
a
way more
point.
chicks. Yeah, that was it, and that was going to be my thing. My father was an actor, so I grew up watching him, you know, work on sets and stuff. So it was cool to look at, but it wasn't anything I wanted to do because he didn't enjoy it as much as I thought he was enjoying it. Because you're on TV, you're in an episode of The $6 Million Man or Star Trek or whatever. What a fun life! And he's like, he wasn't happy. So something in my head went, don't ever be an actor. It's not the road to happiness. And I was a musician anyway. It encompassed all my time. So I was like, I moved to New York City when I was like a teenager, and then I was gotten all these high school bands and things, and I was just ready to like, this is what I was going to do in my life. And I moved back to LA to study music, and I got into an acting class solely for fun. I didn't have an agent. Yeah, exactly. And you're in LA doing something for fun publicly. Someone's going to see you and go, I can make money off of this kid.
Right. Yeah.
You
For
know?
sure.
And that's how it happened. I was doing a play at a theater for fun. And an agent said, I want to sign you. And I go, well, I'm not an actor. I'm a guitar player. He goes, I don't care. I want to see you in my office on Monday. And he signed me, and he started sending me out to auditions. And I thought it was just like, I took it seriously, but I didn't want to be an actor. It was taking me away from it. And all of a sudden, I was like, whoever hits first, that's where I'm going. And I got a sitcom. I got a guest spot on a sitcom, and they paid me like more money for that week than I made the year prior in one day. So I went,
Maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll
Maybe
do
I'll
this
try
for a
this.
bit.
This might work. You know?
Did it?
Get me out of the
Did it?
ramen years. You know?
Yeah,
But
sure.
that
Sure.
led into like movie of the week, and that led into a couple of guest spots on shows. And then next thing you know, I was on the Heights, and we moved to Vancouver, Canada, and I was doing a series. I was like a co-star in a big Aaron Spelling show, and this is when Aaron Spelling was super hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. That was his time.
So yeah, and so that was like, I was like, okay, I'm an actor who plays guitar, not a guitar player who acts.
Well, did it feel good at least getting in with the Heights, like knowing that the music and band was like a big central part of the show and your character? Was that kind of like, oh, this is cool, at least I get to kind of entertain both instead of just doing drama acting?
Yeah, that was the best part about doing the Heights was, for me, was working with all the people, you know, everybody in the cast. We got close really quickly, and everyone could play. So we would jam a lot. And I thought, well, shit, we could just, can I curse, boy?
Right ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. So, you know,
We're not really a kid show.
Fuck firemen.
all right, I just, fuck those firemen.
So you
Yeah,
guys would
because
jam.
I got to jam with them, and then we would do sessions up there in Vancouver at Little Mountain Studios, because sometimes we had to record something, so the next day we'd have something to sync to, you know, to film. And I got to meet Aerosmith at that studio, and
Wow.
Sick.
it was just great. You know, it was a real famous studio back then. If you look it up, Google Little Mountain. I mean, there's some of the biggest records in the world we recorded there. And we were in Studio B, like camped out in there to make all our music. So it was exhausting though, because I would shoot 12 hours and then go to the studio at night and sleep like 8 seconds and come to the set the next day and shit. So, but it was really rewarding.
So, like the first season of California Dreams came out the same year as The Heights.
The Heights was
like
2 months before.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
was there any crossover? Was there any like anybody from your show that maybe tried out? I'm not only going to talk about California Dreams. I'm just so curious because it seems it's so similar in a lot of ways.
They're both
Yeah.
similar. They both start at the same time, and they both have Steve Terrell.
Yeah, and your show seems Canadian in a way, and yours was actually filmed in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was an American show, but filmed in Vancouver because it was cheaper to film there. And other than us, everybody in the cast was Canadian, like the day players and things like that.
Yeah, it's okay. So were you guys like, fuck California Dreams? Were you like, was there any
I didn't
kind of
even know-
competition?
Never even
Oh,
heard of
okay.
California Dreams. There was a Canadian rip-off show that wasn't shown in the States until many later. It's called Catwalk.
Yes, I watched the first episode of Catwalk thinking it was The Heights a couple months ago. So
Everyone did. Yeah.
ask me anything. I'm
Well, I knew I had worked on Party of Five in the early '90s. Like I had a 6-episode run, and so I got to know Nev Campbell, and she was on Catwalk when we were doing The Heights, and it was like the Canadian non-union version of The Heights, and I was like, this is like a direct ripoff of our show, or is it? Is our show a direct ripoff of theirs? Like chicken or the egg? I don't know which one came first, but there was a lot of like the Commitments. The movie The Commitments came out around that time, and so people were trying to like do an hour-long series about a struggling band trying to make it from a working class neighborhood, and so everyone was kind of taking their shot at that. That was kind of fashionable that year. I don't know who came first. I wish I did. And I hadn't even heard of California Dreams. It didn't get on my radar, sadly, until I started working on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first couple seasons are drastically different from when you got on, when your voice got on. Did you ever, I guess you never visited the set? You were just all recording remotely, I assume, right? Yeah.
We recorded everything at Tyrell's studio on Sunset
Okay.
Boulevard a couple times a week. I never went to the set, and I worked with Kelly and Jenny
Okay.
because they sang also. It was just whoever sang on the show came in the studio to record their vocals, but Jay didn't sing, William didn't sing, Aaron didn't sing, and I hope I'm not outing anybody, but I just never met them. If they did sing, I would have met them.
You've never met you, is what you're telling me.
I never
You've
met me. No, I haven't still to meet me.
I met
hope I'm as
Aaron.
nice-
I met Aaron Jackson. So now
Did you?
I had to have both of these people. Yeah, that was kind
That's
of the
right.
apex of this
You had a
this weird
complete experience.
silly podcast. I mean, they were all kind of directly ripping off Saved by the Bell. So like,
Yeah.
but this was such a California Dreams was such a like it's so cheesy. So when I was watching The Heights, I was like, oh man, this is like there's an abortion subplot, like it's Dirty Dancing, like they're actually dealing with real world issues, whereas California
Yeah,
Dreams is very much cornball.
Yeah. I mean, I think that had The Heights gone another year, because I just recently watched a few episodes after I sent you guys that link, because I hadn't seen it in a long time.
That
And
must have been
a lot
a trip.
of it was a trip, because some of it, I remember the first 3 or so episodes, just because we were so hyped up that the show was being touted as, Aaron Spelling's new whatever.
Sure.
And the song was starting to be on the radio all the time. So we were getting mobbed in the street and, recognized and all that like Beatlemania crap. But some of the later episodes I totally forgot about. And it got, they tried to tackle some dark issues, and I'll give him credit. Tony Spiridakis, who wrote it, did a film called Queen's Logic before that. That was a real dark kind of New York film. If you've never seen it, it was in the late 80s, I think. And Tony was like Tony used to have these fights with Aaron Spelling, because he was like, well, there's going to be an abortion episode. It's like, well, don't make that abortion too ugly. And it's like, how are we not making abortion ugly? They're ugly.
Yeah,
right.
right.
So Aaron was thinking, as he's supposed to think, it's like, well, how are we going to make this, consumer friendly? So a lot of the stuff got defanged sometimes, and that made Tony very frustrated. And so I think one of the reasons why it got canceled is because they couldn't find a middle ground between the two of them. And
So I was gonna say, when you signed up for The Heights, then what did you sign up for? What were you pitched? Like was it the whole like same thing they tried to do with California Dreams and New Kids on the Block and Tiffany, where it's all like a bunch of mall tours and sell CDs, or like you weren't just supposed to do the show, were you?
Well, I was totally naive, because up until then, I had done one tour as a musician. I played bass for Susanna Hoffs from the Bangles. She went solo in '90, and she got an opening slot for Don Henley on his End of the Innocence tour.
Wow.
And I auditioned for that band and got it on bass guitar. That was only for a summer. So I did 3 months on the road, and that was like broke my cherry. I was like my first tour, and now I'm a touring musician, and then I got this series. So I didn't know what to expect in this department. I had no idea. I knew that the show had music because I auditioned like 6 times for it. You know, we all went in. It was like American Idol, dude. It was so grueling.
Right.
Because
6
you'd
times
go
is a
in and
lot for anything. Yeah.
it was a lot. It might have even been 7. It was like you'd go in with your 3 scenes, and I was the comic relief, so I had to be up and funny all the time. If I didn't make them laugh, it was like heart wrenching. You know, like,
Right.
well, I just lost it here.
Yeah, right.
And they go, you have another callback. I was like, I can't do another callback. I'm gonna screw it up. So, but I every time I went in, I had to sing something new and all that, and so or play something. And by the 6th or 7th one, it was network, and I just went, look, just give me the part, or just let me go. I mean, I can't take it anymore. So I knew it was going to be an hour-long episodic. I knew it was going to be drama. I knew there was going to be some kind of music. I had no idea what we were going to do. But once the song took off, we recorded the song the second we were capped. We went right to the studio. Instantly, you're like,
Wow.
you know, now you're at work. And just bam, go to the studio. And we did that song and like 2 others for the pilot. And it was on the radio. I was at the gym and I heard it on the radio. And I was like, uh-oh. This begins like...
I heard it
Now
everywhere. I mean, it was a big song.
It was a huge song. And the more we went out on the weekends to sing in like shopping malls and do the whole New Kids thing, the bigger it got. So I had no idea we were going to be doing that. I mean, it was fun. I was 26, you know, and we were getting our hair pulled and clothes torn off and mobbed in the street, and we couldn't go anywhere for a long time.
It was my first slow dance at 11 years old at a
you're welcome
at a middle school dance. Yeah, but until Seal Kiss from a Rose definitely dethroned it.
So that's a good one to take over.
That's
I guess.
fair.
Yeah, that'll get you to second base.
So, well, I wanted to talk. Was it your relationship with Aaron Spelling that got you the gig on 90210 then?
Yeah, partially, because after the high school, I kept it great with Aaron, Mr. Spelling. He was really, really sweet to me when I was auditioning for the show, and he was like playful, and he let me improvise in his office and stuff, which now that I think back on it is terrifying. I took liberties in his office. I started eating shit out of his fucking candy thing, and I was like, can't believe I did that. But anyway, he liked me, and I knew I was on his, on his good list, and he used to invite me to the house. I never went because I was young and terrified. But when the show went off the air, I got a call to go read for 90210, and I read for a different part, and I wasn't right for it. So then the director directed me.
Can you tell me which part? Because I just want you to know,
I'll totally tell you.
You and we've spent a lot of time together, and I didn't know. During the pandemic, I binged every single episode of 90210 and Cop Rock, which I just found out you were also in. So we're basically best friends. So if you tell me the name of the person you were supposed to try out for, chances are I'm gonna remember it. But there was a fuck ton of episodes of that. So you played Howard the DJ, which I'm sure was kind of a call to like Howard Stern at the time, right?
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I guess it is.
So who were you? Because Jamie Walters was also in there. Wait, who were you?
Well, there was a lot of incestuousness going on with the Aaron Spelling shows at the time, and we were all sort of crossbreeding.
Yeah, well, because of Donna as well.
Yeah, we crossbred a lot in those years. Let me tell you. I read for there was a substitute teacher. I think he was a substitute teacher. The actor who got it was an actor named Josh Rifkin, who at the time went by Josh Samuels, I think, or something. And you'll recognize him if you look up Josh.
Wait, was he like a journalist teacher that's like was really inappropriate with the girls?
Yes, I read for that dude and didn't get it at all. And then the director, well, here's funny that you mentioned Cop Rock. Now I don't have to. The director of Cop Rock was directing that episode.
Right on.
And there's another character in there, Howard, the DJ manager, and they sent me out of the room. And then as I'm leaving, like with my head between my legs, I knew I fucking was not right for this part. No one said anything in the office.
You're not creepy enough for this part. Get out of my office.
You're not creepy. Creep it up. Gil Shepard, this director, he ran out. He goes, Zach, wait a second, stay here for a second. He went back in, and I guess he talked to them. He goes, look, I worked with him on Cop Rock. I think he'd be good for this drug dealer, DJ guy. And they went, all right, bring him back in. And they gave me the size right there. And they go, here, just take 10 minutes and read this and come back in and read, for this. And I did. And they were like, that's the guy. And they hired me for that. So I got lucky.
Wow.
But that's how I got that one. And then when I got it, I went to my dressing room on the first day, and there was a big, welcome basket from Mr. Spelling. Goes, welcome back to the family, which I thought was kind of cool.
It's nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he was really good to me. He was really, really good to me.
So I just wanted, so the first episode of The Heights, it ends with you guys basically making a ska band, because there's now 7 or 8 members in the band, right? And Jamie Walters joins the band, right? And if George or James don't know, Jamie Walters was like one of the villains in 90210. He's Donna's abusive boyfriend.
He was.
He threw her down the stairs.
That's terrible.
That
is abuse.
Bad boy.
But yeah, but I didn't know. I was watching it with some friends during the pandemic, and they're like, no, that guy is actually like a legit musician. I had such a crush on him when I was young. So like all this stuff came full circle. I'm really glad that like you guys could all help each other out, because normally we just see kind of the dirty side of acting here. We see a lot of day players on at least California Dreams that we like never heard of again, their character or their person. So
yeah, no, we were really tight. We got cast and we recorded the first 3 songs for the pilot, and then we went to Vancouver for 2 weeks. The first week we just went just to screw around for like a week, just to hang out and get to know each other. Second week we shot the pilot. The first day I just remember this because the first day we shot the pilot was April 10th, 1992, which is the day Sam Kinison died.
Oh, geez.
I remember that's just how I remember it. Because I'm not trying to like down everything. I just like, you think back like, well, when was that pilot shot? Because I sometimes forget. I just remember getting in the van at 4 a.m. and Charlotte Ross went, Sam Kinison died today. And I was like, oh, that fucking sucks. So anyway, we shot that week, and then we didn't see each other till like June. And they finally called. They go, you guys are a series. Get your asses up to Vancouver. We got places for you to live for a little while.
Wow.
And then Jamie called me because him and I really bonded. And he goes, how are you getting up to Vancouver? I go, I don't know. I was going to fly, I guess, and ship all my stuff. He goes, well, I'm driving, man. You want to let's just drive with me and pack all your shit in my car? And I was
Road
like,
trip.
Yeah, let's do it. 100%. It was like, I wish I had a camera on us, because we took the long way up. We were through Carmel because Jamie's dad lived up there, and we stayed with his dad. We just had the best time, dude. We just listened to all bands we were into at the time, and a lot of like early 90s, like punk and alt rock. Wasn't called alt rock then. And we just super bonded. So by the time we got up there, we were like best friends. And
awesome.
And
yeah,
this
is dumb. But did you got to get a visa because you were going to be working up there for so long?
Yeah, they have to when you work on a show for a certain amount of time, because we were going to be up there for at least 13, 14 weeks because it was a 13 episode contract.
Sure.
They give you like a year or something. They buy you a year visa, cool. And then you're all your paperwork's taken care of. You just have to show up, and that's it.
Is that similar to now? Like if you're and so the band you just got back on from tour, was that with Corey Taylor?
No, it was with Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains.
Is that I mean, awesome, amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Are you because I saw you do a couple videos with him. Are you like in that band? Are you a hired gun? What is that? Is that kind of the same situation? I was just curious the visa situation because we've had to cross
with Corey or with Jerry.
Either or both.
Well, with Jerry, I'm in the band. He had a different band prior to this year, and a couple of the guys in the band got the gig with Marilyn Manson, so they had to jump ship, and so he was missing like 3 guys. And I saw Jerry. I've known Jerry peripherally for like 25 years. We just have the same friends and stuff, and so we would run into each other. And we had a birthday party that we played at New Year's Eve of a mutual friend of ours, and him and I got up and jammed, and then I got up and jammed like a million other songs and sang, and Jerry and Greg, the other singer in the band, were like, dude, we could get that guy for the fall tour. So Jerry called me, he goes, hey, bro. Like the next day, he called me and he goes, what are you doing in the fall? I want a tour. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. fucking
Nice.
tour with Jerry Cantrell sounds like a fucking plan.
Right.
So, you know, like, and yeah, that's how I got the gig. And then a buddy of mine, Roy, got the drumming gig and stuff. So once we got, and Elliot, the bass player from Corey Taylor's band, also got the gig. So we were all friends in that band. So we clicked super well. And me and
It
Jerry
never
go
works
back.
like that. That's great.
It was like right out of a movie, dude. It wasn't supposed to be like that, but we got really lucky. And then Jerry liked it and loves it. And, you know, he's into the band and wants to keep going, but obviously he has Alice in Chains to do as well. So when he's not doing Alice, you know, hopefully we have a tour in June in Europe doing the festivals. And then we have possibly some dates in the fall, maybe. And then we're looking at something in February, but other than that, we don't know what else is going to happen, but it's a really good band. And you know, I think everyone's happy with it. So there'll probably be some stuff in the future, but again, you don't know. I mean, that's the nature in the rock world. You don't really get,
Right.
Yeah, you don't get contracts and stuff like that. You just sort of go, yeah, hopefully we'll see you in February.
Handshake deals. They never fall through whatsoever.
But yeah, exactly. Unless whoever's shaking the hand, and Jerry's one of those like super honorable guys. You know, he's not gonna tell you something he doesn't mean. He's that guy.
Awesome.
And Corey's the same way. Corey's like, you know, we had a band. He wanted to form a solo band that wasn't Slipknot and wasn't Stone Sour.
Stone Sour, yeah.
And he said, he goes, I wanted a solo record, just explore other songs I've had for many, many, many years.
Yeah,
And
it sounded so different than what I was kind of expecting.
It's really, you know, he's really, musically, Corey is one of those people that can pretty much do any style of music he wants to do, you know, and you would never believe it's the same guy. If it's really trippy. There's not a lot of people that I know who can, you know, do that. Certainly sing that way. You know, his voice is insane.
Well, sing that way after having one of the most brutal screams in metal music.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
the first time I heard Stone Sour, I was like, my friend was like, that's Corey Taylor. And I was like, shut up. No, it's not.
Oh,
that guy's
dude,
voice must be destroyed.
You should hear some of the ballads that he did on the records we did. I mean, it was like, we would be on the road and we had Slipknot songs in the set, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Because we wanted, you know, he wanted to have like a bunch of different stuff from all of his stuff. And, you know, he'd get back on the bus and he's like this. And I'm just like, how do you do a whole tour? And the next day,
back to it.
Absolutely back to normal. I'm like, you know, so he's got something. He's gifted, and he knows how to work it. He knows how to do it.
Yeah. I was really surprised because I listened to CMF2 yesterday when I went to walk the dog, and it was great. I loved it. It was a really fun album to listen to.
Did the dog like it, George?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, George. What'd your dog think?
But I was surprised because
kind way of saying no.
I skipped out on Slipknot because once you get into like growling, that just triggers something with me, and I just like instantly get pissed off, and I just can't do it. But I love the music for it, you know? and that album really walked the line where I got all of the guitars from all of that, but the vocals were pretty clean, and it was a really great album. I really liked it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, dude.
Yeah, I like that you have just one guitar in the background, Zach. That's like a real musician.
Well, you know, I wanted to make sure you guys knew I was a real musician, so I put this inconspicuously behind me.
If you had like a music note or like a chord chart behind you, I also would have bought that.
Big treble clef on the wall.
Yeah,
you know?
there you go. So what's like? I'm
serious, dude.
Well, clearly, I just want to know like what it's like, what the pressure of playing with people like this is the first time. Like, yeah, maybe you guys get along, but once you sign on to be a part of the band, like, is there a little bit of pressure on that first show or like the first rehearsal to be like, I hope this goes really well. Like, this is somebody whose music I love and appreciate, and I want them to be happy with my performance here. I'm just wondering if there's like, or is it such a part of your life now to where it's like, whatever, I'll show up and I'll play and it'll be fine.
Honestly, it's like a little of both, because there's always pressure the first day when you start anything. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you've been in this business for. You just go in there and it's new. Anything new is scary. It's also legendary. You know, it's like, but by the same token, you're working with friends. You're also confident in what you can do and can't do. And you also know that your boss wouldn't have chosen you if he thought you were shit,
Right. Of course. Yeah.
couldn't handle it. Like, so it's, you go in with hopefully with a sense of confidence, not arrogance, just confident enough to get through that first rehearsal. And it's always worse in your head than it actually turns out to be.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone goes in going, I'm going to shit the bed. This is going to suck. I'm going to this, that, and the other thing. And if you prepared, if you work hard, you know, and you know what you're doing when you go in that first day, you just soar through it. And then you start to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the important thing. Like, you're scared, and all of a sudden you're like, dude, I'm playing music. I'm playing Alice in Chains songs.
Yeah. Right.
Why
With
am
my
I stressing
friends.
about that?
With
my
people,
friends.
you know, with people that I like.
And the guy who wrote all the songs. So I mean, like, why am I doing anything other than enjoying myself right now? Let me just dig in and, you know, play these like I mean it, and it should be fine. And it is. That's the lesson.
And do you still have moments like, even though you've been doing this for a long time, do you still have moments like randomly during shows where you think just that, like, I can't believe I'm on stage with this guy right now. I can't believe we're rocking this out right now. Like, how did my life,
Yeah,
you know, form into this being a situation?
I do. I mean, Nightly was, you know, I grew up a big Kiss fans, and I've worked with a lot of guys. I still do in Kiss, past and present. And when I toured with Ace Frehley, who I started playing guitar, one of the reasons why I started playing guitar was because of Ace Frehley.
Sure.
I would get up close to him. I'd play bass, and I would get up close to him, and I'd look at his fingers, and I go, those are the fingers that played this song on that album that I got when I was 8, you know, that made me want to play. So and with Jerry too, man, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, Jerry's a friend, and he's a bandmate, my boss and stuff. But there's always moments where you're like, you know, you're like, yeah, I'm playing Rooster with Jerry
The
Cantrell
guy.
and
Yeah.
with the guy. But you have to you have to enjoy that and just sort of bypass it, because you still got a job to do. You know, it's like, this is still a song. I'm still in a band. I'm
People
playing,
paid
you know,
to
so
see this show.
people
Yeah.
paid to see this. I just can't sit there and, you know, lose my concentration. So, but yeah, no, every night there's at least some point, I think all of us in the band just go, wow. And then you just get back to work.
Yeah. I think
You
a
know?
lot of it, at least from like, I don't know, we open up for bigger bands, but like it's like word of mouth, and your reputation just goes such a long way. Like, some of the bigger acts we've opened for are just, they're awful. Like, they're just so shitty to like the local bands and like the support, no matter how long you're on a tour with them. But like, I've seen the same consistent people that are getting these gigs, and they're the ones that like are humbled, and they're happy to be there, and they show up to work, and like that just goes such a long way, because there's so many
Definitely.
shitheads in this business that
Yeah.
like, if you immediately, if you have this reputation of that, like, you're full of yourself, you don't show up on time, like you do too many drugs or whatever, like that's around. As much as like we are in like the gilded age of the internet, it's still so much word of mouth. Like, just, I mean, guess it happened like a lot with TV with you. Like, you
Oh yeah.
showed up, you were consistent, and you're like, hey, don't leave. You blew that audition, but try this one, and that will work.
Yeah.
So I'm
I honestly, man, I think that you're exactly, I think everything that you just said is all people need to know about working in entertainment. Because yeah, you have to be good. You have to work really hard and strive to be better every day. That's super important. But if you're a douche, like, you know, I mean, that gets around, because people got to live with you, you know, like, if you're on the road with people, you don't want to live with some douche, like, voluntarily,
Yeah.
you know? So if you act like that, or you think, I don't know, I mean, I always think that, like, people think they got to act like a rock star to be a rock star. And it's fucking bullshit, you know?
Yeah. It's lame. That's bunk.
And I've seen people do that. I'm like, you don't need to act like that. You don't need to treat people like that. You know, it's like, yeah, we all get tired and we all get cranky, and, you know, so you don't sleep a lot, blah, blah. They didn't have the fucking, you know, I mean, when you're tired and you're hungry and you're cranky and you haven't slept in a while, and all of a sudden your dinner arrives and they forgot, you know, your dinner. Like, oh, you didn't get dinner tonight. Sorry, I don't know what happened. You know, this poor runner guy, his job to make sure everyone gets fed. He entered in right. The restaurant fucked it up. You didn't get your dinner. Are you going to throw a shit? Are you going to fucking, punch him? Or are you just going to go, it's cool, Johnny, don't worry about it. I got stuff in the fridge in case this happens.
Classic Johnny fucking up the dinner order.
Yeah. Actually, our guy's name is Johnny. So
Oh, no.
Well,
I totally threw him under the bus there.
It's
But yeah, it's like, it's not his fault,
Yeah.
and you just have to sort of be a good person. I mean, it sounds
Well,
stupid, but
it's funny that you talk about runners, because one of the things I spent a lot of time doing in New York is running for musicians, running for bigger bands or events. And there are so many situations where I was working with a band that I really didn't like. It's not like music that I would listen to, but they were such nice people. I'm forever a fan, because they treated me with so much respect, even though I was just the guy driving them to their rehearsals or buying them lunch or doing whatever. And I'll be a fan I will die on a cross for them for sure.
exactly,
Just because
100%.
they
Hey,
had
you're
that,
not gonna
that,
you're not gonna
human
name
component.
names even if you're a fan of them. Is that what's going on?
Okay, well, the prime example, and I talk about this all the time, even on my podcast. I used to work for Fish, the band
Me
Fish.
too. I was on the road with
And-
Fish. I have the same thing. I don't like the music. They're great to work with. So-
They're
Yeah.
amazing. Those guys, for a while when I was working with them, I was vegan. They would always go out of their way to make sure I got a delicious vegan meal from a restaurant. I've worked with so many people where I had to chase down money. Never had to chase down money from Fish. I always got paid on time, most of the time immediately. Sometimes before I even did the work, they would just pay me the
Right.
money because they're like, we know you're good for it, so just show up.
Yeah. It's
and,
fucking, I think it's 85% of the gig, dude.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I really do, because like, if you think about it, I mean, I'm not the best musician in the world, but I'll always work hard, and I do what I can. But there's guys that fucking play circles around me, but if they're idiots or they're assholes, or
Yeah.
yeah, they're insufferable, or like, why would you ever hire somebody like that to stick with you for 2 months
In close quarters. Yeah, right.
in
exactly.
close quarters? It's like, so I think that's.
I'm gonna step in here though and protect your reputation.
Go ahead, George. Pretend
you're
yeah.
pretty damn
Talk about
good.
Fish.
You're pretty damn good both at playing and singing. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
You're the
Thanks
first
very
voice
much.
we hear on California Dreams now for the next 3 seasons.
Uh,
Yes,
guys, we're glazing over one of the coolest credits, and that is SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, please, you have to tell me. You have
I don't
to
know.
tell me about.
I don't know if
this.
you saw my name. I'm the balloon vendor. I'm paying homage to your CSI gig.
That's
So
yeah, that's right. I was wondering when someone was gonna, throw my flowers for that.
yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
so
Where do I
you've
even
done.
begin?
You did
what was that
voice stuff,
experience-
right? Yeah.
What was that experience like? I mean, that was obviously, it's one of the most successful TV shows of all time, one of the most successful cartoons Nickelodeon ever had. Like, what was it like getting approached for that? And were you on the fence about it, or were you like 100% gung ho when they offered you that job?
Well, the only job that I would ever do outside of music, like if I'm too old to go on tour, or I'm just, I just don't want to do it anymore, is
Over it,
voiceover.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah. If I get to that point where I'm over it, it will be voiceover, because ironically, my dad was the last half of his career, he was a voiceover actor, and he would do a lot of, trailers and commercials, and, he did the original Star Wars trailer in 1976.
Damn.
And so he was like a very distinctive VO. He had a really deep voice and this commanding sort of, thing. And, I just thought it was the shit, because I love the studio, more so than traveling. I love traveling too, but the studio is less exhausting, and you're just in one place being creative, and you don't have to leave. And, so I thought, well, that's a gig for me. So I was in LA, and a friend of mine, Mary Ann, she was the casting agent for Nickelodeon. And she goes, we went to go see a friend of ours this band called Mother Superior. And we were down in Santa Monica. I saw her there. And she goes, your dad's coming in Monday to do some voices for some cartoons at Nickelodeon. I was like, oh, right. I was like, good luck working with him. He can be cranky some days or whatever, And she goes, oh, I know, I worked with him a bunch of times. And she said something like, how did you ever want to get into voiceover? I go, no, not really. I mean, I like doing it, but I'd do it for free. It's just fun. She goes, okay. And over the weekend, she called me and she goes, you want to come in Monday and do some voices? We have like these like kind of background characters with no names that have words or two or here and there. And I go, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. And she goes, all right, your dad, same stuff and your dad's on. And I was like, all right, well, don't tell him. I want to like surprise him and show up. And so I did. I showed up and he was like eating a bagel and he looked at me and I'm in the studio. He goes, the fuck are you doing here? and I go, I'm working. Let's work, Pop. Let's do this shit. So we did an episode of something.
That's awesome.
It was great. I forgot what cartoon it was. I think it was Avatar. And at the end of it, there was a casting agent there, and she said, do you have an agent? Again, same shit. Do you have an agent? I was like, no, I'm not a voiceover actor. She goes, well, do you want an agent? And I go, yeah, I was not really working that much as a musician at the time. So she gave me that, and then I booked a commercial, and then I started booking these little parts here and there. And then Andrea Romano, is it Andrea Romano? Who's the character on 90210?
Andrea.
Andrea, sorry.
Very sorry. Name wrong.
God.
I want to make sure I don't fuck that up. It's like,
She was the best
like,
30-year-old teenager I've ever seen.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Steve Sanders, like, I just want to make sure I'm not yanking names out of the ass. So, Andrea Romano was working at Nickelodeon as the director, and she liked me, and she just called me in for these smaller parts, and one of them was SpongeBob, and they didn't have a name for him, so they named him Zach the Fish. So I played Zach the Fish.
The fish has your name. That is
The
even
fish
more
has my
epic.
name.
That is amazing.
I hate to tell you, but on IMDb, it's just fish number 1, fish number 5.
Oh, I'm happier with fish number 1.
And torch vendor, which I love that, like, you've done 2 vendor casts. So are you worried about being typecast as just a fan of commerce?
I feel so many offers for Torch Vendor 7 and Torch Vendor 8. Just trying to keep them distinctive and different.
Turned down so many
real
Frankenstein movies.
So many Frankenstein. Yeah, so little time,
That's cool because like
those are fun jobs.
No,
yeah,
sure.
Like
it
Jay,
seems like it.
Yeah, there's a couple video games. Flushed Away was like a big one. I found there was like a wiki page just for that. So I'm like, okay, this has its niche fandom. But like J. Anthony Frankie was the like a big voice in video game acting too. So
it's a very it's lucrative if you get in with the right people and you work a lot. You can actually make some decent. I mean, you can make a living at it. And if you like being in the studio and you're creative and you have fun with it, it's just a fucking fun way to make a living. I just loved it.
You don't have to put on pants.
I actually moved. Huh?
You don't have to put on
pants.
Yeah, it's just.
And I didn't.
No, a true auteur.
A true auteur. I showed up. Yeah, just judge me not. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I did a lot of it. And I moved to Canada for 4 years for a while. So I got an offer up there after Zach the Fish, and I wound up getting a voiceover actor agent up there, and I did a lot of voiceovers up there. And I just like, yeah, this is a great gig. I miss music, but when music fades away or something, or I can't do it anymore, then I can roll in naked and do some voices.
Well, it's, like we know so many people who like have had whatever success they've had in music, but music is just entertainment in general. It's volatile. It's like the stock market, you can't really guarantee that you're going to have a job. And it sounds like it's really interesting to see how you've kind of carved a path for yourself doing kind of whatever you want, like as the opportunities arise and the windows open appropriately. Actually. Like you get to do some acting, and then when you stop kind of trying to focus on that, you can just kind of run into the music. And it's interesting, like finding a balance. Very few people can get one of those career tracks going, and you've found a way to like make it work in both.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't passionate about it. That's the one thing I've learned, if I learned anything, is that I found what I love to do. Like I love it. Like I love being there. I love eating, the bad food they're serving. I love the travel. I love everything about it. I would do it for free. And if I wouldn't do it for free, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, even I don't care if people say like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, if it was something that I would do for free, then I'm doing it. And because I think I'm so into it, people want to pay me for it. And then that begets,
That's good
more of
because
that. But
a lot of times we do this for free, and
yeah, and that's why I'm fucking here.
Wait,
So-
are you gonna sell me back that $700 I sent you, or you just gonna keep that?
No
So-
comment.
we all know where you are now. When you, well, I mean, when you started, like, How Do You Talk to an Angel, such a big hit, and that, like, the show gets canceled right after you have that big song.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that, and how do you keep on going? Like that's such, like, that had to have been devastating when it happened, and I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you recovered, so
Yeah. God, how do you keep going? I guess you just keep going. When it got canceled, we didn't get the official, like, we're canceled. We were contracted for 13 episodes, and they were coming up with outlines for 14 and 15. But we were not shooting. So we were in Vancouver. We weren't going out any more publicity stuff. We would shoot Monday to Friday. Weekends we'd go to some shopping mall and sing for thousands of teenagers. And then we come back Monday morning and start all over again. We weren't doing that. We were just living in our apartments in Vancouver, not working. And I called the producers and I go, what's going on? Just curious, like, either way's fine. I'm just, this limbo thing's weird.
Yeah.
And, well, hold on, we're coming up with outlines for 14 and 15 and even 16. I was like, all right. And then weeks would go by, and then like a month went by, and I still don't know. And I'm paying rent on this apartment that I'm not making any money. And finally, I called my agent. My agent goes, come home. We're done. And I was like, okay. And I packed up and moved home. And yeah, it was disappointing, but by the same token, I had this thing that you have in Hollywood called heat, and heat is it. I think it's stupid, but it's how people market you. It's your bargaining chip. This is Zach Throne. He just got off the Heights. They had a #1 single, How Do You Touch It? Aaron Spelling Show. Up, and they can actually get people to call them back or get you in the doors when you have heat. That when you don't have heat, you could be, Robert De Niro, but if you don't have heat, no one wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
okay.
And it's weird because it doesn't matter who you are or what you can do. It's about getting in that door, and then you
Right.
show them what you can do. But getting in that door is 90% of it. And some producers and agents won't see you unless you have heat. And at the head of the Heights, I had heat. I had a lot of bargaining chips. So my agents were selling me now, and all these people wanted to know me. I mean, I fucking went, they flew me to New York to talk with Downey Einer, who didn't even know if I could play or sing or anything. He didn't know what I did on the Heights. I sat with the guy in the thing, and I'm like, Alice in Chains, Dirt on the Wall, and I mean, all these huge records that he had signed, and we're taking this meeting, and it was a terrible deal, but for me, but for him, it was great. And I was like, well, why am I here? And I had heat. I was able to be, so I didn't really notice it that much. I was bummed that I wasn't going to see everybody again. And I really thought that we could do more, but it was such a crazy year for me then, with the personal appearances and just being famous and being, mobbed everywhere you went. You sort of got this peripheral thing where you would go, you felt somebody coming up and you had to sign autographs. If you were in a shopping mall or something, it'd be forever. Then everyone knew who you were, your name, your parents' names, like where you live. It's just weird. And then the show went off the air. Within 2 months, man, I could walk through a shopping mall and everyone's like, like, no one knew who I was. Just fucking evaporated. So
have
comes
you
quick,
done
goes quick.
have you done reunions with the cast since then? Like
Not really. I mean,
official one? No.
not music. No. I mean, I think there was one in 2012, which would have been the 20th.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, like, this was unofficial. I never got an offer, but they were talking about us, like, going on one of the late night shows and reuniting and singing How Do You Talk to an Angel. And I was all set to do it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Bring it on. It'll be fun. But we still keep in touch, like, individually. I talked to Sean, like, Thompson about a month ago, and I talked to Alex Azar like 3 or 4 days ago because I met a girl who was an extra on the Heights, and it took me a while to remember who she was because it was 30,
Sure.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, she goes, "Hey," and for her it was like yesterday. So she's like, "Zach, what's going on?" Hey, there you are. Like, yay, right back at you. And then she started talking, and I called Alex, and I go, was she like? She goes, "Yeah, she was a stand-in," and he said like I ran into her recently too, and then him and I started talking and catching up. So, but no, we never did an official reunion. Probably never will.
Oh, it's just, yeah, because like California Dreams keeps doing them, and that's so like
Yes,
there's the
and
market
I
for
saw
it.
I saw Kelly at an autograph thing. My boss Bruce Kulick, who used to play guitar for Kiss, he was doing an autograph thing in Burbank, and he invited me down, and Kelly was there. So I said hi, and then we hugged, and she said, we were like, you have to give me your phone number because we were doing a reunion thing and we couldn't get a hold of you. And Aaron either doesn't feel like singing or whatever. So we didn't have anybody to sing his songs, and we all were trying to figure out where to get in contact with you, but we just don't. So her and I exchanged numbers, and I said, "Man, you ever want me to do it? Call me. I'll do it. It'll be fun.
Cool.
I won't look like the character, but
they for the most part look the same.
yeah.
But it's always trippy to see some like the diehard fans that go, and like they will go to all the reunions. So like you have fans for life.
That's fantastic, man.
Like you could definitely there has to be a convention with your name on it at somewhere. Is what I'm saying.
I'd be honored. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be honored. I would love to do it, man. I haven't met a lot of. I mean, I met some California Dreams fans, and I've gotten letters and stuff, but I'd love to go to one of those and just meet everybody. It'd be cool, especially because it meant so much to so many people. Yeah, letters, exactly.
Yeah, I know, right? Written with a
I mean,
quill.
I'm curious what got all three of you guys so into it that you formed this.
Oh my God.
Just out of curiosity.
It's just me. Like
Is this you?
Yeah. So this was strangely one of the things that actually got me into playing music, which is so silly, but it's just, I was 9 years old when it came out, and like I saw a band. I was like, I want to be in a band, like I was young enough to believe that they were actually playing, and then I watched it, and throughout my adolescent years, I loved bad television and cheesy stuff, but this was nostalgic, and it was just an often overlooked show next to Saved by the Bell. And I was like, okay. And I had an idea permeating for like over a decade, like we should do a podcast, and everybody asked, they were like, no, man, that sounds like a really dumb idea. And I was like, well, you're not wrong. But, so then I saw that California Dreams was doing a reunion, and I was like, this is the universe telling me I got to do it. So they're coming to New York. Right. It was for around Comic-Con. I went, it was the next day. I thought about this, saw that they were coming. I was like, I got to go. And then I asked a friend from Nashville to like, who we've toured together with a bunch. And so he was on the first 2 seasons, and he recently left to like focus more on music. So yeah, I don't know. I got George. I told George about this 15 years ago, and he's like, that sounds dumb, but if you ever do it, I'm in. Yeah. So
Pete and I have been podcasting for like 20 years.
Yeah. So but we were talking to the people in the cast, and they're like, do you guys even like the show? Like they're not sure. And we're like, we put so much time into this. We obviously like it.
Like I'm more of the contrarian. Like I had no idea that show existed, and I am just a general derider of much of 80s and 90s nostalgia. But I do want to say this. I am the contrarian about California Dreams, but I actually did enjoy The Heights. I got immediately invested in the story. And like even again, I am a very negative contrarian New Yorker.
He's a misanthrope.
I was like, there's no way I've never heard of this show. There's no way I'm going to like it. And I legitimately watched, we were only supposed to watch 2 episodes for the episode we're recording about it. But I ended up watching 3 or 4, whatever was on. A guy had basically a YouTube channel with most of the episodes. I really liked it.
So, also like California
Dreams. Surprised by that.
It's not on any streaming platform, unfortunately.
That speaks volumes coming from you.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like that means something serious.
It does.
Because I hate everything.
I hate everything. Yeah, I hate everything, but I liked your show. That's big shit. Thank
We
you.
try to keep this as much musically oriented as possible. Like we do something called Side Project where we find another TV show that has to do with a band. Like it has to be in the plot that there's a band, and we kind
Well,
of
honestly, that's the big
dissect it.
reason. The big reason I like the Heights is because the music
It's
portion
actually
of
part of
it
the band.
is a part of the show. It's much
Yeah.
more part of the show
Yeah.
than California Dreams.
California
And
Dreams is dwindling
even
for
like
sure.
the miming in California. I've always hated music miming, and I don't know if you guys were miming while recording, but it looks like you're playing.
It looks
And
way more legit.
I think that's probably one of the reasons I like the Heights, because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I can believe this. I can watch this as a musician and be like, oh, they're playing something. Something is being played here.
It absolutely, the Heights, everyone had to play. You know, whether you were
Requirement.
okay, it was a requirement. You were not going to get the gig unless you could play decently, like you could be in a band. That was the whole prerequisite. They wanted you to have acting chops, but they also needed you to play in case we did another season and the Monkees became a band.
Right.
You know, that was the sort of model for our band, that those four guys actually could all be a band, but they didn't start a band. And then when their records took off, they became a band and went out on tour covering their own songs. And they stayed a band for 40 years after
Long
they're
time,
showing up here.
yeah.
And I think
It's a
that,
whole career.
yeah, and it was just the four of them. So I think that what they wanted to do is have this, I was 7 of us, I guess, become a band, and everyone could play, you know what I mean? So some better than others. It would have taken a lot of rehearsals and, you know, but I was down, man. I'm like, if we want to go out and perform all our own tracks live, which is a whole different situation than just, you know, playing it in the studio. Let's rehearse, you know, but you got to get everybody on the same, you know, page with that. Not everybody wanted to rehearse on their days off. They wanted, I don't blame them. Not everybody's into it, you know? So we never became a band, but yeah, everyone could play. So when we had to go and like do close-ups and stuff, we all had instruments at home and made sure that our fingers matched and our chords matched. And so we worked hard on it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
again,
think
it
it
shows.
I guess
It's so good.
I rip on the miming in California Dreams like it's nobody's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And I was just like really pleasantly surprised watching that.
Oh, thanks. man.
Again, that's like, it's the details like that just, what I don't like about a lot of 90s stuff is that it's so unbelievable. The studio audience and like, it's just like the jokes
Yeah.
and then the pause for the applause. It's just so unbelievable. But I don't know. I enjoyed the Heights.
Thanks, man. That actually means a lot. You know,
That's
you
a
don't hear that every day.
professional.
So.
You have no idea. This is a
Bless me,
big deal.
Father, for I have sinned. I watched the Heights and I enjoyed it. Forgive me, Father.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do 20 lashings later.
Yeah. There was a in fact, I wasn't a keyboard player. I mean, I could play a little piano. Everyone could play a little piano, but they were trying to get the front line of the Heights to look like they were really playing. I was a guitar player. So they moved me to guitar in later episodes, and they put Charlotte on keyboards, and she could play more piano than I could. I remember there was one Heights episode that I was writing a song. I was supposed to write a song in it, and they had a piano set up, and I said, am I going to go in the studio and like play a little piano? And then I just sing to it, and they go, no, you're going to play that shit live. And I was like, live on camera? And I'd never done that before. So I'm sitting there pretending like, yeah, I do this all the time, and the cameras are rolling. You can hear them rolling. I'm just, you know, but I played it live.
Better be
It was
chopsticks.
just like, yeah, it was terrifying. But I had to also look like, you know, that I was like a real piano player.
Yeah, confident with it.
Yeah. Yeah, the California Dreams thing I felt bad for them because I don't know Jay. William, I think, could actually play drums, or at least he looked like he could play drums.
He's legit. He could actually, he had all
Is
the
he
fills.
legit?
Yeah.
He looked, out of all of them, he looked the super most legit. Kelly, God bless her, I played a lot of the bass lines in California Dreams.
Oh, wow.
And
I love it.
at the time, when Barry and I would lay down, there's a song called Use Something.
But that's
Not
like
sure
half
if you
their
guys
song
remember.
names have the U in it.
Yeah, I know. They're all like, Barry wrote a lot of it. He would come up with the song title like on the day, write the song, and then we go in and track it, and then we were done. And they'd ship it off to the show, and it was that quick. But there's this one dance tune that they did, and it's just me and Barry on all the instruments.
Oh, that's so
And at the
dope.
time I was playing so much bass with about 3 different bands in Los Angeles that my bass chops were like wicked. So I was playing like I was and poor Kelly just going.
Okay, yeah.
And
Look,
it never
I
even
got
dawned on
problems.
me. Yeah, it was like she you know,
She's
it never
always
even dawned
going
on me
from G to G sharp. That's
She's
she
always
only
hanging on
goes
the
yeah,
third
3 to
fret.
that's her
4.
two thing.
Yeah.
That's her
And
2
I'm
things. And
soloing up there and shit.
there's one episode where they're like they couldn't get around it. Like there's a bass solo, and it's actually like a really cool song in the second season. And we were all surprised. We're like, where the fuck did this come from? It's a fun song. It's
Wow.
really good. And there's a bass solo, and then you can see it's framed that I think it's a guy wearing whatever Kelly's top. And
Nail
they're playing.
polish.
I was like, that's a legit. Somebody's actually playing that bass, and it's not her. And so
Yeah.
that's been one of my conspiracy theories. I've been trying to track down who actually played that part.
Oh, we got to find that out.
Yeah, right. We'd
Do
love
we-
to have you
yeah.
on.
Do we, though?
You'd be a great fucking
Do we?
guest on like California, like our main podcast feed, or like a side project.
Oh,
because
dude.
like
Anytime.
that
man.
would be because
Whatever
like
you
you
want.
actually legit know what you're talking about, and you have insider knowledge. So
So
I have all the secrets.
so before we go, what's next for you now that you're back from tour? Are you looking for another gig, or are you taking a break? What are you planning on doing next?
Well, I'm taking a break. Let's see, what am I doing? Well, next up I have a corporate gig with my friends in Kiss, Eric and Bruce, and my other friends Todd and Brent Fitz, who play in Slash's band. There's Slash's band's called the Conspirators,
I
and Todd.
I saw Todd when I watched Whiskey Man and the Rider.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So Todd and I play in a lot of different bands together, and me, Todd, and Brent Fitz, we play with Bruce Kulick a lot, and a lot of the guys in Kiss just collectively, and just I don't know, we're just sort of part of this like Kiss extended family somehow. But we got some shows with Eric Singer, who was the drummer in Kiss until they retired, and Bruce and me and Todd and Brent. So that's coming up next week, and then after that, I have some gigs in Cannes, France that I got offered. It's some more corporate work with a great band out of Las Vegas called the LA All Stars. They were originally from LA, and they're like a corporate band that does a lot of events and stuff like that. And there's one every year where the client will pay for the band to come for 2 weeks somewhere exotic in the world, and they take care of. Oh, dude, it's like, I mean, we
Yes,
went to
please.
Tahiti, we went to Hawaii,
Yes,
but yeah, I was like,
yes,
yes, I'm
please.
available. I just say yes before he even asks me, are you available? Yes,
Awesome.
I am, And so we're doing that for the first 2 weeks of April. And then, I have a friend's birthday party to do with a bunch of cool guys. And then, right around that time we'll start up with Jerry, for the European festivals. So we'll start
You're saying
rehearsing for
that's like
that
June?
probably.
The
Yeah, we
dates are
leave
in
May
June?
3rd. Yeah, the dates are all in June. We probably leave May 31st. Start the first show like the 3rd of June, and then we go through June 30th. And then July, I have some stuff with Todd and Brent and a Canadian rock band they have called Toque, Toque, which is a
The
Canadian.
hat,
Yeah, it's the hat. And they have this thing where they go up and they tour with, they do a lot of shows and they play Canadian classic rock as well as their own songs. And
Cool.
when one guy can't do it, they always call me to sub. So there's some stuff in July with Def Leppard, I think. So
Awesome.
that's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be a good summer. So
Good for you, man.
that's me. Nice.
you're such a whore, but we love it. You just
Oh, fuck.
that's
Yeah,
how you gotta
dude.
be, man.
The biggest whore. I have no
that's-
fucking problem with that.
No standards. I love it. Well, thanks so much for coming on. This is
Yeah,
like
seriously,
we're
thank
like
you.
a silly small podcast, and so really appreciate somebody actually in the
Dude,
in
I
the
had a
biz
blast,
talking.
man.
So like, and we're definitely like this isn't. We're actually gonna hit you up to be on another episode, so you could actually talk about this silly show that we all love called California Dreams. So
Anytime. I would love to do it. You guys are awesome, man. It's fun to hang out with you.
well,
Cool talk.
we'll be back. I don't know when this
Except
is coming
George.
out.
George gets a little annoying, but other than George,
George,
it's all
sorry.
right.
His
Yeah,
wife's
he
Canadian.
talks
You
too
get it.
much.
My
Oh,
wife
is
is
she?
from Vancouver. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Vancouver's one of my favorite places. Okay, all right,
Mine
you're
too.
redeemed though.
All right. Anything you want to plug before we go?
uh, that's pretty much about it, I guess. Just the
Got a
Jerry.
MySpace
Well, it'll be in
page
Europe.
you like?
Oh yeah. Well, my Instagram is just Zach Throne, just ZACHTHRONE. Not the real or anything. It's just Zach Throne. And what else? That's me. And I have my Facebook. You can find me. Same thing.
YouTube
I don't really have
page.
any like things to sell.
Okay, well,
I don't
get an
think.
Etsy page. What
Where
do
do I have anything to sell?
A took
Any
to cover that
tchotchkes or
palate.
merch? Yeah, woman. I might not. I don't know. When I go on the boat, when I go on the Kiss things, I sell pics and stuff like that. I don't think I have anything right now.
I
I
can't
will
believe
let
it.
you know.
I can't believe a Kiss cruise has a bunch of merch. That's crazy to me. Wow.
Yeah, go figure. They don't know anything about merch.
Well,
Yeah, am I selling anything like merch wise?
Yeah, I have that. Yeah.
Is there any way we can find it online, or I just like send it to people individually? Okay, so nothing at the moment.
Well,
okay.
we will have you
T-shirt,
back on so that you can
T-shirt,
sell all of your
Yeah.
merch.
T-shirt,
Yeah, just
T-shirt.
T-shirts will happen for sure.
all right. Well, send us the link. We'll all buy one
Yeah,
for
man.
charity. Okay. All right. Thanks
You're,
so much.
you're a
for
legend.
coming
Thank
on.
you so much, dude.
Well,
Thank
yeah,
you
we'll
guys.
have you
Thank you
back
guys,
on.
man. I had a blast.
This has been a Waning Moon production.